शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय। कुम चंदन लेपितलिंगं पंकजहामनशोभितलिंगं संचित पाप विनाशनलिंगं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिंगम्। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय,
ओम नमः शिवाय।
देवगणार्चित सेवितलिंगं बाभरभक्तिविवर्चनलिंगं दिनकरकोटि प्रभाकरलिंगं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिंगम्। ओम नमः शिवाय, 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 ओम नमः शिवाय। अष्टदने परिवेशितलिंगं सर्वसुमर भवकारणलिंगम् अष्टदरिद्रविनाशनलिंगं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिंगम्। सुरगुरुसुरवर पूजितलिंगं सुरवर पुष्पसदाचितलिंगं परात्परं परमात्मकलिंगं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिंगम्। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय,
ओम नमः शिवाय।
ओम वेद सुक्तं समायुक्तं यज्ञशामा समन्विते सर्वे प्रणे देवा वाससे प्रतिग्रहीतां व्योपरिजनेयु। ओम तदेव लग्नं सूरिनं तदेव ताराबलं चन्द्रबलं तदेव विद्याबलं देवाबलं तदेव लक्ष्मीपते गृयोगं स्मरामि व्योपचन्दन। ओम श्रीकण्डचन्दनं दिव्यं गन्धार्यो सुमनोहर विलेपनां सुरश्रेष्ठां चन्दनं प्रतिगृहीताम्। ओम तिलकं पुण्यं पापनाशनं अपराहृते नित्यं चन्दनं प्रतिगृहीतां व्योपपर्फ्यूम्। ओम वनस्पतिरसुरभूतो गन्धार्यो गणदूतमाग्रे सर्वदेवानां धूपोऽयं प्रतिगृहीतां धूपोऽयं आग्रापयामि धूपोऽयं समर्पयामि। संवत्सरा शिवाय हरि हरिद्राय सर्वसौभाग्यराणि सर्वालङ्कारमुक्त्यामि देवी त्वं प्रतिगृहीतां देवी त्वं प्रतिगृहीतां। सिन्दूर सेन्दुरं शोभनं रक्ते सौभागे सुखवर्धनं सुकरं कामरं मोक्षनं चैव सिन्दूरं प्रतिगृहीतां सिन्दूरं समर्पयामि। Strings of 2 cross. ओम एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्ते प्रचोदयात् तन्नो देवा प्रचोदयात्। काण्डात् काण्डात् पुरोहन्ते पुरुका पुरुषस्वरे एवानु दुर्वे प्रधानो नाशते न चाहते। बिल्बलीस् ओम काशी वासी शिवासिनीं कालभैरव पूजार्थं कोटिकन्या महादानं बेलपत्र शिवार्पणं बेलपत्र शिवार्पणम्। ओम नमः शिवाय, 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 ओम नमः शिवाय। मैं कान hear you. ओम नमः शिवाय, 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 ओम नमः शिवाय। सुनो मी राम 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 बोले
राम राम राम
बोले
राम बोले राम बोले
रम 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 राम बोले
राम 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 बोले
रम 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 राम बोले
राम 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 बोले
राम बोले श्याम बोले
राम बोले श्याम बोले
राम बोले श्याम बोले
राम बोले श्याम बोले
रम 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 राम बोले
राम 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 बोले
रामा रामा सुख रामा 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 दुख रामा
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 रम 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 राम बोले
राम 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 बोले
रम 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 राम बोले
राम 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 बोले
राम बोले श्याम बोले
राम बोले श्याम बोले
राम बोले श्याम बोले
राम बोले श्याम बोले
रम 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 राम बोले
राम 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 बोले
रम 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 राम बोले
राम 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 बोले
ओ रम 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 राम बोले
राम 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 बोले
उमापति महादेव की जय. Joining expressions of welcome this evening.
Saram everyone. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome everyone tonight to night 2 of the Ganesh Utsav, Shiv Yagna. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the Ganesh Utsav Foundation, the President, and the Pandit for welcoming us, the we in the society, into your group and accepting us. Thank you, and I hope everyone enjoys tonight. Jai Sitaram.
उमापति महादेव की जय. पवन सुत हनुमान की जय. अयोध्या राम लला की जय. वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की जय. पूरे सा जगन्नाथ की जय. बोलो वे सब संतन की जय. सियापति रामचंद्र की जय. शरणम हरि ओम. गम गणपतये नमः. ओम ऐं सरस्वत्यै नमः. ओम श्री गुरु चरण कमलेभ्यो गोविंदा नमो नमः. Taking flowers in your hands, we propitiate worship. विघ्नेश्वराय वरदाय सुरप्रालम्भोदराय सकलाय जगद्धिताय नागासुरत्यज्ञ विभूषिता गौरी सुताय गणनाथ नमो नमस्ते. Together we pray. वक्रतुंडा महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वराम. सर्वमंगलमांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरणे त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते. ह्रीं बटुका पटवादन कुटुकवटका ओम नमः शिवाय. ह्रीं बटुका पटवादन कुटुकवटका ओम नमः शिवाय. हरीं वटुका पट्वारिण कुर्वटका ओम नमः शिवाय करारविन्देन पुरारविन्दं मुकारविन्दे विनिवेशयन्तं वत्रस्य पत्रस्य पुटेशानं बाणं मुकुन्दं मनतः स्मरामि ओम तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्र प्रचोदयात् अपवित्र पवित्र वा सर्वावस्थं गतोऽपि वा यस्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्ष सवहयं तरसुजे ओम ध्यो शान्ति अन्तरिक्षं शान्ति पृथ्वी शान्ति आपा शान्ति ओषधय शान्ति वनस्पतय शान्ति विश्वदेवा शान्ति ब्रह्मा शान्ति सर्वं शान्ति शान्तिरेवा शान्ति सामा शान्तिरिद्धि भवतु हर हर उमापते महादेव की जय मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वज मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्ष मंगलाय तनोहरि ओम नमः शिवाय। साक्षी दीप दीप ज्योतिर्पर ब्रह्मा दीप ज्योतिर्जनार्दन दीपो हरतमी पापम दीपोऽयं प्रतिगृहीताम् शुभं करोतु कल्याणम् आरोग्यं सुखसंपरं मम शत्रु विनाशा दीप ज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते। सिद्धि बुद्धि प्रदे देवी भुक्ति मुक्ति प्रदायिनी मंत्रमूर्ति सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तु ते महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तु ते। ब्रह्ममुरारिसुराचितलिङ्गं निर्मलवासितशोभितलिङ्गं जन्मजदुःखविनाशनलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय।
मुनि प्रवराजितलिङ्गं कामदहं करुणाकरलिङ्गं रावणदर्पविनाशनलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय।
सर्वसुगन्धिसुलेपितलिङ्गं बुद्धिविदर्शनकारणलिङ्गं सिद्धसुरासुरवारितलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय।
कनकमहामणिभूषितलिङ्गं पणपटिवेशितशोभितलिङ्गं दक्षसुयज्ञविनाशनलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् ॐ नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय।
चन्दनलेपितलिङ्गं पङ्कजहामनशोभितलिङ्गं सञ्चितपापविनाशनलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्।
ॐ नमः शिवाय, 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय।
देवगणाचितसेवितलिङ्गं बावरभक्तिविवरचरलिङ्गं तिलकरकोटिप्रभाकरलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्।
ॐ नमः शिवाय, 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय।
To you, O Lord Shiva, salutations and prostrations at thy feet, now and forevermore. You have blessed us with the gift of clothing, and so we offer clothing to you in our worship. Be pleased with us. Ved suktam samayuktam yagyashama samanvite sarve prare deva vasase pratigratam sarvabhushatike lomya lajja nivaranam mayupakar vasram upavasram pratigratam yagyopavit यज्ञोपवीतं परमं पवित्रं स्थापितं पुरुषं ततनि आयुषमुग्रं प्रतिमुंश शुभ्रं यज्ञोपवीतं मलमस्तु तेज त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमेव वन्दना प्रत्योर्मुक्ष्यमामृतात् यज्ञोपवीतदानं समर्पयामि येना बलिवरो राजानान् महाबलायिना त्वं वरणामि रक्षातु सुरश्रेष्ठां रक्षातु प्रतिग्रहीतां सम्म सदा शिवाय यज्ञोपवीतदानं समर्पयामि। चन्दनं सुललितं देवाकण्ठे चामुक्तावली गोपश्रीपरिरे विजयते गोपालचूडामणि ॐ श्रीकन्नचन्दनं दिव्यगण्डार्योस्मनोहर विलेपनां सुरश्रेष्ठां चन्दनं प्रतिग्रहीताम् कस्तूरी तिलकङ्गलाटपटले वक्षस्ते कौस्तुभ्यं श्रीचन्दनम् अहं करिष्ये चन्दनं प्रतिग्रहीताम् गन्धद्वारा दुरदर्शं नित्यपुष्पकरीशिनीम् ईश्वरं तामहो श्रीगन्धदानं समर्पयामि वनस्पतिरसुरभूतो गन्धार्यो गणरूत्तमा आग्रे सर्वदेवानां धूपोऽयं प्रतिग्रहीताम्। ॐ नमः शिवाय, 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय,
ॐ नमः शिवाय, ॐ नमः शिवाय, ॐ नमः शिवाय, ॐ नमः शिवाय, ॐ नमः शिवाय, ॐ नमः शिवाय।
हरिद्राय सर्वसौभाग्यदायिनी सर्वालङ्कारमुक्तामि देवी त्वं प्रतिग्रहीतां देवी त्वं प्रतिग्रहीतां कुङ्कुमं कान्तिं दिव्यकामिनी कामार्थसम्भव कुङ्कुमम् अर्चितं देवा प्रसिद्ध पुरुषोत्तमा सिन्दूरं शोभनं रक्त सौभाग्ये सुखवर्धनं शोकरं काम्रं मोक्षरं चैव सिन्दूरं प्रतिग्रहीतां कुङ्कुमं कान्तिं दिव्यकामिनी कामार्थसम्भव कुङ्कुमम् अर्चितं देवा प्रसिद्ध पुरुषोत्तमा। Strands of Dukras, may you away all our troubles, all our problems, we beg of you. Om Varnanam Arthasanganam Rasanam Chandrasamaphi Mangalanam Chakaritaro Bande Vani Vinayako Bhavani Shankaro Vanne Shraddha Vishwaswarupino Yabhyam Vinana Pashante Siddhaswantastamishwaram Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirviganam Kurume Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvaram Ekarandaya Vitmai Vakratundaya Dhimai Tanno Dante Prachodhyat Benvalis अष्टदने परिवेशितलिङ्गं सर्वसुमरभवतारणलिङ्गम् अष्टदरिद्रविनाशनलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय
ॐ जय त्वं देवी चामुण्डे जय भूतापहारिणि जय सर्वे गते देवी कालरात्रे नमोऽस्तुते अम्बे अम्बिके अम्बालिके नमाण्यति कश्चन सहस्रभद्रकामपीलवासिनीं नमो दिव्ये महादिव्ये शिवाय सततं नमः नमो प्रकृति भद्रायै नियतां स्मरता स्मिताम् ॐ या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः ॐ ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डायै विचे नमः पुष्पदान मल्लित्यारिणी सुगन्धिनी मल्लित्यारिणी वै प्रभु मायाटानि पूजाटं पुष्पाणि प्रतिगृहीताम् कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय
ॐ यानि कानि च पापानि जन्मन्तर्कृतानि तानि तानि प्रक्षणा प्रक्षणा प्ररे प्ररे ॐ तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्र प्रचोदयात् दीपं दर्शयामि दीपं समर्पयामि दीपं प्रतिगृहीताम् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय संवत्सरा शिवाय दीपदानं समर्पयामि ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 सुरवर पूजितलिङ्गं सुरवर पुष्पसदाचितलिङ्गं परात्परं परमात्मकलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः शिवाय
May you accept our parsad. May you accept this offering of food. We offer food to you, Bhagwan Shankar, not because you are hungry, but because you have blessed us with many things we ought to be grateful for. As an act of gratitude, we have prepared this parsad with conviction from our hearts. O Lord Shiva, may you accept this parsad. May you nourish the very existence, our very existence, as we eat this parsad that has been first offered to you. And so, Bhagwan Shankar, may you bless us with prosperity and growth and success and happiness and fulfillment. May you be pleased with us. We bow to you again and again, O Mahadev. Listen to our prayer. Listen to our prayer. नागीन्द्रहाराय त्रिलोचनाय भस्मांगराकाय महेश्वराय नित्याय शुद्धाय दिगंबराय तस्मै मकाराय नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हरि ओम नमः शिवाय। बोलो
ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय।
मंदाकिनी सलिल चंदन चरिचिदानंदीश्वरं प्रमथनाथ महेश्वराय मंदार पुष्प बहु पुष्प सपूजिता तस्मै मकाराय नमः शिवाय। तस्मै मकाराय नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हरि ओम नमः शिवाय। बोलो
ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय।
शिवाय गौरी वरुणाथ वृंदा सूर्याय दक्ष ज्वरनाशिकाय श्रीनीलकंठाय विषध्वजाय तस्मै श्रीकाराय नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हरि ओम नमः शिवाय।
ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय।
वशिष्ठ कुंभो भवगौतमार्य पुण्येन्द्र देवा चितशेखराय चंद्राकवेष्णलोचनटाय तस्मै वकाराय नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हरि ओम नमः शिवाय।
ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय।
यच्च स्वरूपाय जटाधराय पिनकाहस्ताय सनातनाय दिव्याय देवाय दिगंबराय तस्मै यकाराय नमः शिवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, हरि ओम नमः शिवाय। बोलो
ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, बोलो ओम नमः शिवाय।
ब्रह्मर्परं ब्रह्मावेद मगनो ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मागतेन गन्ताव्यं ब्रह्मकर्मा समाधिनां शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं परमनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसर्विसं मेघवर्णं सुभाग्य लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिविज्ञानवन्द्यं वन्दे विष्णुभावहरणं सर्वलोकैकनाथं नैवेद्यं निवेदयामि नैवेद्यं समर्पयामि। ॐ ब्रह्मर्पणं ममस्तु। ॐ श्रीकृष्णार्पणम्। ॐ नमः शिवाय,
ओम नमः शिवाय,
ॐ नमः शिवाय,
ओम नमः शिवाय,
ॐ नमः शिवाय।
ओम नमः शिवाय।
ओंगे पलम्या देवा नागबलिदलायुक्तैलालचूर्णाटं ताम्बूलं प्रतिगृहीतां लवङ्कर्पूरसंयुक्तं ताम्बूलं सुरपूजिते लवङ्कर्पूरसंयुक्तं ताम्बूलं प्रतिगृहीताम् गंगा जमुना गोदावरी सरस्वती नर्मदा सिंधु कावेरी आचमनं विनियोगाचमनं समर्पयामि पंचामृतमया दत्त गृहाण पुरुषोत्तमं पंचामृतमया दत्त गृहाण परमेश्वर ओम नारायणं नरहरि नारायणं केशव नारायणाय गोविंदाय परमात्मने नमो नमः ओम श्री आचमनं समर्पयामि संवत्सरा शिवाचमनं समर्पयामि हिरण्यागर्भ समवर्तिताग्रे भूतस्य जाता पतिनिकयासि सदाधारं पृथिवीं दक्षिणादानम् अहं करिष्ये ॐ संवत्सरा शिवाय दक्षिणादानं समर्पयामि ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय
शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः 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 शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय
लिङ्गष्टकमिदं पुण्यं यापति शिवसन्निधौ शिवलोकमवाप्नोति शिवेन सह मूढते त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमेव वन्दना मृत्योर्मोक्ष्यमामृतात् संवत्सरा शिवाय पुष्पदानं समर्पयामि पुष्पदानं प्रतिगृहीताम् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय
नमः शिवाय
ॐ 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 नमः शिवाय उमापति महादेव की जय Adorations and prostrations at the feet of the divine goddess. Hamsa Hamsaya Vidmai Paramahamsaya Dhimai Tanno Hamsa Prachodayat. Hey Ma Saraswati, may you sharpen our intellect. May you now guide us onto that pathway of acceptance, accepting the lessons that our scriptures teaches us. O Mata Saraswati, Goddess of speech, Goddess of learning, Goddess of music, we bow to you again and again. Listen to our prayer. मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले जुग जुग प्रकाश फैलाए
मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले युग युग प्रकाश फैलाए
इतना मांगो भगवाना आए आने तूफाना इतना मांगो भगवाना आए आने तूफाना ये ज्योति न बुझा न पाए जुग जुग प्रकाश फैलाए
मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले युग युग प्रकाश फैलाए
मेरे नैनों का ही तारा, मेरा जीवन का उजियारा। मेरे नैनों का ही तारा, मेरा जीवन का उजियारा। मुख कमल कोल मुस्कारे, जुग जुग प्रकाश फैलाए।
मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले, युग युग प्रकाश फैलाए।
मनमोहन मधुर सलोना, मेरा टूट न जे खिलौना। मनमोहन मधुर सलोना, मेरा टूट न जे खिलौना। तुम दीन बंधु कहलाए, जुग जुग प्रकाश फैलाए।
मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले, युग युग प्रकाश फैलाए।
May the flame of the lamp of my life burn so brilliant as they illumine the pathway of those who are in darkness. May the words that emanate out of my lips be like beautiful flowers being offered at the feet of Bhagwan Paramatma. May my very existence be peaceful. Bless me. I bow to you, O Devi. Listen to my prayer. मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले, जुग जुग प्रकाश फैलाए।
मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले, युग युग प्रकाश फैलाए।
Kirtan is the act of awakening the mind to listen to the Katha. When we join in the Kirtan, you're supposed to clap and you're supposed to sing. And if you can't clap and you can't sing, then you're supposed to get up and dance. That's the joy you're supposed to experience when Kirtan is happening. If we didn't go to the satsang and feel the dance or feel the cry or feel the emotions out of what is being delivered, then maybe we have failed. This evening when we sing the Kirtan, I want you to clap. And when you clap, think of yourself clapping away all your problems and all your troubles and all your distresses and all that is negative from within you and around you. Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma,
जय जय अम्बे भवानी माँ, जय जय अम्बे भवानी माँ।
Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma,
जय जय अम्बे भवानी माँ, जय जय अम्बे भवानी माँ।
Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, 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 Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma.
जय जय अम्बे भवानी माँ, जय जय अम्बे भवानी माँ।
The Devi, she's the Shakti, she's the energy, she's the power, she's the strength, she's the driving force, she's the inspiration for Lord Shiva. The lingam sits on a yoni. Yoni gets its name because yoni means Devi. The lingam sits on the Devi. She's the foundation upon which the lingam rests. Wherever there is Shiva, you will find Shakti. And wherever there is Shakti, you will find Shiva. For they go hand in hand, Shiva and Shakti. Lord Shiva wards away death, wards away sickness, wards away problems. Devi Jagat Janani. There isn't a single thing in this world that you will ask the Devi for, and she will never bless you with. There isn't a single thing that you will ask the Devi for, and she will not give to you. She may not give you what you ask for, but she always gives you better than you have asked for. This evening, looking on, there is one of the members of our group, one of the very foundation members, who is lying on his bed and he's looking at the television this evening. Sri Krishna Ram Logan. He has been faced with some health challenges. Still has a sharp mouth, but he has been blessed with some health challenges, and even that is a blessing. But this evening when we clap and when we sing, let us send some of our love and some of our vibration out of the Yagyashala to him, asking the Devi and asking Lord Shiva for speedy recovery, asking Lord Shiva and the Devi to bless him and to bless the many like him who are on their beds and unable to help themselves this evening. Sing with me as we make a joyful noise unto Lord Shiva and the Devi. Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma,
Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma,
Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma,
Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma, Jai Jai Ambe Bhavani Ma.
Om Namah Shivaya,
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 Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Last night, we listened to the beautiful katha of how Lord Indra wanted to visit Lord Shiva. Wanting to go to Lord Shiva, Lord Indra wanted to know if it was a good idea to visit Lord Shiva. And so he went to the Guru. The Guru is the guide. And so the Guru Brihaspati, Guru of the Devatas, hearing or listening to the petition of Lord Indra, he decided that Lord Indra should not go on his own, that he will be accompanied by the Guru. And so both Guru and Lord Indra, they were making their way to Mount Kailash. The only difference is, Indra was leading and the Guru was following. Indra, he was leading and the Guru was following. Do you think that's the right thing? Do you think that's the right thing? In a spiritual group, it means that you're on the quest for spirituality. A spiritual group is also like a religious group. And last night we spoke about the difference between being religious and being spiritual. A God-realized being will put anybody and anything and everybody in front of them. And they will walk behind. Then, it might be very safe for me to say that our mothers, they are spiritual beings. Because there are many times our mothers, they placed everybody in front of them without even giving consideration to themselves to ensure that everybody else was happy. Isn't it? That's the reason why our scripture says, Matri Devo Bhava. Your mother is your first God. She acts just like God. She behaves just like God. There are many times she will go to sleep hungry, but you never went to sleep hungry. There are many times she will go to sleep wanting and having a desire. But you know that your desire will be fulfilled by your mother, isn't it? Matridevo, she is your God first. Indradev, he is leading and the Guru is following. There are some people, they just don't like to give you a chance. There are some people, they just think that they know it all. There are some people who, if they're not in charge, they vex, they're angry. In a spiritual group, in a religious group, who is the boss? In a religious group and in a spiritual group, Bhagwan is the boss. God is the boss. Bhagwan is the driving force and the energy into any production that will come out of the group. And so, Indradev, he is leading and the Guru is following. But as the Guru is following, the Guru doesn't make Indra wise. Because the Guru knows that at some point, Indra, he will fall. But when he falls, the Guru will be right behind him to pick him up. And that's why we have the Guru. That's why we ought to have a good relationship with our Pandit. For when we fall spiritually, he is able to lift us and to elevate us and to help us to climb the ladder of spirituality again. And so, just as the Guru had predicted, Lord Shiva, knowing that Indra is coming, knowing the temperament of Indra, he decides to test Lord Indra. Taking the form of a sadhu, he sits in the narrow pathway, blocking the entire pathway so that Lord Indra will not pass. Lord Indra, seeing this being for the first time, arrogantly, rudely, Indra is saying, who are you? Where are you from? Why are you here? Why don't you move? Why don't you go back where you came from? Jao, go away from here. You could talk to some people somehow, sometime, but you can't talk to all the people, all how, all the time. Does that make sense? And so Lord Indra, arrogantly speaking, Lord Shiva doesn't reply. He remains calm. For the Guru has already recognized that this is Lord Shiva. But when the Guru recognizes that something bad is about to happen, the Guru already begins to plot in his mind a plan that will save Indra from being destroyed. Indra, out of his ego and his arrogance and his ignorance, he pulls out his weapon and he aims it at Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva, by gazing with so much of power at the hand of Lord Indra, Indra hand freezes. Sometimes we have to freeze. Sometimes we have to pause. Sometimes we have to give thought and think and think and think and think again and think it over again before we make decisions. And so as Indra holds the weapon in his hand, the Guru recognizes that Lord Shiva is upset. But Lord Shiva closes his eyes and Lord Indra knows when he opens back that eye, what will happen? The beam that will come out of that eye will burn Indra to zero. Has somebody ever looked at you and you feel as though you could melt when they look at you? Has somebody ever looked at you and you felt loved by the way they look at you? Has somebody ever stared at you and made you feel uncomfortable? Have you ever been eating and somebody passed and they're looking at your food? Would you enjoy that food again? Gazing and staring the eyes. The eyes. The Guru quickly goes and bows to the feet of Lord Shiva. And he holds the head of Lord Shiva and he turns it towards the Samundar. Samundar means the ocean. And at that time when Lord Shiva opens his eyes and the beam of his eyes comes out, it meets with the cracking of a wave. Imagine the beam of destruction is meeting with the ocean thunderously sending a wave. And as the wave cracks and the beam connects with the crack, something happens. Something is about to happen. Have you ever been tossed by a wave in the ocean? Have you ever been rolled by a wave in the ocean? Have you ever unconsciously been struck by a wave unexpectedly out of nowhere? And then you have to try to find ground and find balance and to check and see if you're alive or you're dead. Have you ever experienced that before? Because it comes out of nowhere, unexpectedly. Not only waves in the ocean comes unexpectedly. Trials and tribulations in life, they come unexpectedly. Situation and turbulence comes unexpectedly. Sometimes you're sitting on the plane and you decide, I'm going to take a rest, I'm going to sleep. And then all of a sudden the plane begins to shake. And everybody begins to panic. And then the pilot turns on the seatbelt sign. And then the air hostess says, sit in your seat and put on your seatbelt. And do not move. We're experiencing some bad weather. And then the plane begins to shake even more. And then in your mind you say, am I going to live or am I going to die? Am I going to be fortunate or am I going to be unfortunate? And so, as the union of the beam of the eye of Lord Shiva meets with the cracking of these waves, something happens. The Katha begins to tell us tonight. Listen. Shambhu Mahadeva, Shiva Shambhu Mahadeva.
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 Saraswati Namastubhya Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Ya Kunne Tutushara Haravalaya Supravasravita Ya Veena Varadanda Mandarikraya Svet Paramasana Ya Brahma Chitara Shankara Pravitve Deve Saravandita Samam Paptu Saraswati Bhagavate Nishesh Jadyapam Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Par Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Nishchay Prema Pratitite Vinay Kare Sanman Teke Karj Sakar Subha Siddhi Kare Hanuman Om Namah Shivaya भगवान शंकर की क्रोध समुंदर का लकड़े का उन्हों मिलन करने वाले एक छोटे का बच्चा अभिबंदे परवा स्वरूप करने वाले या वचन का जोर जोर से सो रहते करने वाले उसके कारों ने अवार का जंगल पे पेड़ का दिया टटा होते शंभु महादेवा शिव शंभु महादेवा
शंभु महादेवा शिव शंभु महादेवा
ओ शिव हर 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 शंभु महादेवा.
The union of the beam of Anga meeting with the union of this wave creates a little baby boy, a young boy, a child. But this child taking his manifestation, appearing as though this child started to cry. But he did not just start to cry, he started to cry ferociously. Ferociously. Have you ever heard that word ferocious before? Long ago, ferocious was a word used to describe the behavior of a dog. You say, beware of ferocious dog. In 2022, ferocious is a word that you can use to describe many different things and many different people. Not only animals, but people too. Because there are some people, they're just ferocious by nature. They will attack anybody and anything. They will criticize anything and anybody at any time for no reason at all. Ferocious. And so the ferocious cries of this child could be heard everywhere. In the heavens, on the earth, and in the nether region. Such was the potency and power in the cry. Have you ever heard a neighbor's child crying and you have to go and stand up by the fence and say, hey, you're killing the child? What's happening? Something happening? Did the child fall? And then you say, no, that is dular cry. You ever hear about dular cry before? You see the child, just a dular cry. There is a dular cry. We're privileged to have Nurse Radhika with us. Nurse Radhika worked her entire life in the pediatric ward. Can you imagine? She's not a biological mother, but can you imagine when she goes home and she's asleep, sometime I'm sure she'll hear the baby crying in her head. Because in a pediatric ward, when you're dealing with babies, what will you hear in that ward? The nurses have to be silent because they don't want to disturb the rest of a baby. The baby's job or duty after birth is to rest and grow, isn't it? I feel that's still my job. I should still be resting and growing. But strange, as we grow into adulthood, we rest and we grow. We don't grow this way, we grow this way. We stop growing up, we start growing to the sides. And so, this ferocious cry could be heard everywhere. And the Devatas hearing this cry, they became very concerned. What powerful being could be created that we will hear the cry in the heaven? So loud and so potent. And so the Devatas, they marched, they made their way immediately. And where they're going, they know better than to go to Shivalok. They're not going to Shivalok. They're intelligent. What has happened to others could happen to us. What others have suffered, we can suffer too. Did you give thought to that? Every time I go to the cremation site and I put that body in the chitta, just before I do the Hawan, I give thought, one day they'll be putting me inside of there. Today I had that experience. Tomorrow I will have that experience. On Monday I'll have that experience. On Tuesday I'll have that experience. Because every day I'm there. The Creek overseer looked at me and she said to me, why don't you build a little hut here? Why don't you come and live here? Why don't we call you the funeral Baba? And you come and you live here. It has happened to them and it could happen to us. But we hear that. We see that all the time. And from that we never learn because we go back to our old crooked evil ways. We never change. We never learn to grow. We never learn to enjoy. We never learn to relax and to breathe. And then we die too. And then we never enjoyed anything. Tonight, the Devatas decided to go to find out what is happening. But they decided to go in a place where they know they will get information. Do you know there are many people, they have friends only to get information? They pick up their phone and they only want information. And they have informers who are so foolish they don't even recognize that they're giving information. Anytime I recognize you're trying to get information from me, I tell you the wrong thing, all the time. All the time I'm telling you the wrong thing. And I mean information in pertainance to people's business or business that doesn't concern you. And I'm not apologizing. I'm going to say that I will continue to do that in the future, so you know. So if you're depending on me to be an informer, well, you're in real trouble. Because I might have you preparing for a war that will never happen. I might have you preparing for something that will never come to light. Just because you're foolish. Teaching you how to MYOB. Have you ever heard that before? Mind your own. The Devatas decide to go in a place where they will get information. And where they're going to, listen, it tells us. Gangadhara Shiva Gangadhara
Gangadhara Shiva Gangadhara
Gangadhara Shiva Gangadhara
Gangadhara Shiva Gangadhara
Gauri Priya Shankara Shiva Gauri Priya Shankara Oh Shiva Hare Gauri Priya Shankara. Sing with me everybody. Shambhu Mahadeva Shiva Shambhu Mahadeva. Sing with me. Shambhu Mahadeva Shiva Shambhu Mahadeva Oh Shiva Hare Shambhu Mahadeva Oh Shiva Hare Shambhu Mahadeva. The Devatas, देवता पूछने करने, इसलिए ब्रह्मा लोक का पहुँचने करने वाले, क्यों का वर्णन करने, जिसमें का ब्रह्मा की पुत्र सब कुछ का जानते हैं, ते नारद मुनि का स्मरण होते करने वाले, ब्रह्मा की पास को सुरन करने वाले, नित्य का सभी देवों का तारा, जुग जुग करने वाले, जुग जुग करने वाले। Om Namah Shivaya. The Devatas, they started to march, they started to make their way to Brahma Lok. And you know why they were going to Brahma Lok? They were going to Brahma Lok because they knew that Lord Brahma had a son whose name was Narad. And once there was confusion and information, Narad will know. Narad will surely be a part of that. And so they knew that if they went to Brahma Lok, if Lord Brahma doesn't know, he will surely be informed by his son Narad. And so they go to Brahma Lok, hoping that Narad has already brought the information to Lord Brahma and he'll be able to liberate them out of their darkness. How would you feel if somebody deems you to be a confusionist? How would you feel? How would you feel if somebody deems you to be a troublemaker? How would you feel? How do you feel if somebody deems you to be a big mouth? They say, we can't tell you because your mouth big, you could tell everybody. Why are you looking at me? I tell some things sometimes, not everything all the time. I tell what I think is hilarious and not life-threatening and maybe a joke to me. There is something that is serious. You'd never hear it out of my lips. Narad Muni, he is deemed to be a person who will know everything. And so they go to Brahma Lok. But when they go to Lord Brahma is just as confused as the Devatas. He's just as confused. And so Lord Brahma, he looks at the Devatas and he says, the cry seems to be coming from the ocean. Then you stay here and I will go and I will see what is happening there. And Lord Brahma, he begins to march. He's making his way to the ocean to find out for himself. Tonight I want to tell you, the Katha is teaching us a very valuable lesson. You want to know something? Find out for yourself. You want to know something? Go to the source. So you'll not receive second-hand and third-hand information. Second-hand and third-hand information comes contaminated with opinions and omissions, and people leave out what they want to leave out and put in what they want to put in, and they do maths with it. They add and subtract and multiply and then by the time you get the information, you get totally wrong information. Everything is wrong about what you heard. Brahmaji decides to go to the ocean. Tonight the anger of Lord Shiva and the cracking of the wave brings about a being who is crying ferociously. Have you ever known that somebody is upset, somebody is angry with you? And you have no idea why? And you call them and you ask them a million times, so you vex? Tell me what you vex for. And they say, but me vex? Who tell you I vex? I know vex. There is one person who I know is vexed with me. And I took up my phone yesterday and I called him. And I said, I'm calling to wish you a happy anniversary. And he said, anniversary is not my anniversary? I said, well then maybe I said it wrong. Happy vexiversary. Because it is 1 year now you're vexed with me. Me? I not vex? I am not vex. Who tell you I vex? But 1 year now, you never visit me and I never visit you. And you visited me every single day before that. 1 year now, you never took up your phone and called me, but I've called you numerous times to find out, how are you? And I said, well, maybe I'm saying it wrong. Maybe it is not anniversary, it's vexary. Happy vexary. And he started to laugh. You simply cannot make peace with people who cannot make peace with themselves. You cannot find peace with people who don't want to find peace. And slowly, gradually, I'm now accepting and understanding that. I was of the opinion in the very beginning that everybody will be on the same page and the same way, and everybody will think the same way. But everybody has their own page and their own opinion. And if you don't stand with authority and you don't stand with conviction and say, listen, then everything goes haywire. You have to have some kind of authority. You have to take some kind of charge. If the mother and father doesn't take charge at home, you know what the children will do? They might sell the house and sell you too, and you didn't even know. Lord Brahma makes his way, and making his way there, Lord Brahma sees this child. And this child seeing Lord Brahma, he seeing, the child immediately rushes to Lord Brahma and grabs hold of him as though he knows him. Have you ever taken somebody's baby to hold a baby because maybe you think the baby is cute or something else, and all the mother and father tries to take back the child doesn't want to go? Have you ever experienced that before? The child rushes to Lord Brahma and grabs onto him as though he knows him. Have you ever felt as though you know somebody? Somebody you never met before, and you know that you never met that person before. Ari, ever see somebody and you click, you connect? You didn't know them here, you know. You know where you know them? Was there a last life? Will there be a next life? I always have a problem when people say, when you die, you go to a better place. I'm not very certain that there is a better place. I'm not sure. Well, I never died before, so I don't know. And I'm sure you never died before too, so you didn't know. And maybe if we died, we surely can't remember. But I want to tell you, while you're on the quest to die to go to a better place, let us try to enjoy this place now. Because we don't know what we will meet in the hereafter. We don't know if it is really a better place that the soul will be going to. We don't know. Because when you listen to the descriptions of the Guru Puran and the other books, it makes you so afraid to even die. It makes you so afraid, and it wakes you up. You're afraid to even wash hands. And it tries to straighten you up. It tries to guide you into becoming better beings. Tonight, the child grabs hold of Lord Brahma. And grabbing hold of Lord Brahma, what happens? Listen. Om Namah Shivaya. Va Bhagwan Brahma ki garan ka paate karne rehte hai, bin ka kisle ka धन्या का निचोर का रहते हैं, ब्रह्मा डारिया का उसके का उन्होंने का साथ करने वाले शंकर करने लगे हैं. The child grabs on to Lord Brahma, but jumps up in such a way that he holds on. And you know what he's holding on to? He's holding on and wrapping his hand around the neck of Brahma. Tight. Has a child ever held on to you? Because you're holding the child like this, and the child wrap his hand or her hand around your neck, and you have to say, hey, you're choking me? You'll stifle me? You'll suffocate me? Have you ever tried to give the child a baki ride? I have a little niece, Amelia. Amelia, every time she sees me, she says, can I have a baki ride, uncle? And the way she asks for the baki ride, you know, I'm forced to say, well, yes, come. But in my mind, every time she says baki ride, I say, oh God, Narayan, Narayan. In my mind, I begin to say, Jai Hanuman, Jnana Gunasagar, help me tote this fat girl. I might not be able to carry the weight by myself. God, she's going to be upset with me. Sometimes it is important to think it and not say it. Huh? The child grabs on to the neck of Lord Brahma and begins to squeeze, holding on so tight. Lord Brahma is trying to pull the child off, and by him trying to pull, the child begins to hold even tighter and tighter. And as though he's choking Lord Brahma's eyes become red, lacking oxygen. And so out of those red eyes, tears begin to flow out of the eye of Lord Brahma. You ever choke? You ever sarke before? Have you ever heard that word sarke? You know what that means? You're drinking the water too greedy. So instead of the water going down your throat only, some goes up the nasal passage and it begins to choke you. Have you ever experienced that? Only I greedy? And so, as Lord Brahma begins to cry, somebody appears. Some being appears. Who will appear? The troublemaker himself comes. Who is he? Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva
Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Jai Sadguru Deva.
तब नारद मुनि प्रकट होते करने अपने पिता का रक्षा का देख उन्होंने का बच्चे का जीवन का भेद करने वाले में भगवान ब्रह्मा के भविष्य करने वाले शुरू द्याहर करने उन्होंने का बेटे का और करने नमन जलंधर का नाम उन्होंने का चत्ते का दे उन्होंने का भगवान ब्रह्मा की रुलार करने नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरु देवा
नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरु देवा.
Narad, seeing the predicament of his father, Narad immediately intervenes. And Narad says to his father, let me hold the child. Let me take the child. And so Lord Brahma was relieved. He was happy that Narad appeared and quickly handed over the child to Narad. Narad now names the child Jalandhar. Jalandhar. Anda, your eye. Jal means water. Water that comes from your eye. Water that comes from your eye is called what? Water that comes from your eye is called what? Have you ever been crying and then some water comes from your nose? Water that comes from your nose is called what? Don't answer. That's a trick question. Jananda. He calls him water that comes from the eye. Jalandhar. And this is the name that is given to the child. Narad says we will give him the name Jalandhar because he made you cry. He made water come from your eyes. And so we will name him Jalandhar. Recently, I went to do a puja with Rabi. And I asked, what are the children's name? Because I'm meeting them for the first time. And she said, well, my name is Carol. And my brother's name is Noel or Joel or something like that. And I said, were you both born in December? And they said, yes. How do you know? I said, well, Kaleni by the name. If your daughter is born on Diwali day, what will you name her? If your daughter, she's born on Diwali day, what will you name her? What will you name her? So if your daughter is born on Christmas day, what will you name her? What is preventing you from naming your child good, holy, noble names, whether when they are born? Because the name has a great impact on the very existence of the child. And that's a fact. We were very small. My guru comes to the home to do the puja. And my brother calling me Sunil. And my guru give him one tap. And he says, that's not his name. And my brother look at me, he say, you have a next name? And I look at him and say, I didn't even know. What is my next name? And my guru says, he says, your name is not Sunil. Your name is Sunil. That is your name. That is the name I gave you at least. And he says, when you say Sunil, it has no meaning. But when you say Sunil, there is a meaning to that name. His name is not Anil. His name is Anil. I never call him Ashish. Never. Hardly ever I will call him Ashish. But every time I see him, I call him Ashishta. Ask him, he'll tell you. One day he looked at me and he said, but I know my name. I said, well, I am the guru. I could change your name anytime I want to. I will call you what I think is the right name to call you. Till now, every time I see him, I call him Ashishta. That's what I call him. Tonight, having the name Jalandhar, Narad Muni looks at Lord Brahma. Narad Muni says, well, let me now tell you about the future of this child. And he is narrating the future of this child to Lord Brahma. And it has no concern to Lord Brahma, anything about this child, it has no concern to Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma is listening. Have you ever had to listen to something that doesn't concern you? Have you ever had a conversation with somebody on the phone and you're trying to hang up on them? And you say, well, I'll call you back. And they say, no, here there's one thing again. And you say, well, I have to go because I have to. And they say, no, just now, wait, because I can't get you on the phone again. Let me tell you all I have to tell you one time. And then 20 minutes after you say, but I have to go now, I really have to go. And they say, wait, one more thing, hear this now. You are here? And you know it's sounding so good and so appetizing. You say, tell me quick now. Narad Muni is telling, he is narrating. Narad Muni is now telling about the child. What is he saying? Listen to what he says. और बच्चा की महन का नीत हो गया करने वाले. He says this bacha, this child will be a great leader. लेके का भगवान शंकर दानव का नाश क्या करने वाले. This child will only be destroyed by Lord Shiva himself. देखो दर्शन किया शिवार करने वाले क्रोध और इंद्र का शंकर की भेंट करने वाले समुंदर की पुत्र देने हैं, समुंदर की पुत्र देने हैं. He says, remembering that this child is not yours, O Lord Brahma. This child belongs to the ocean. And so the ocean is the custodian of this child. And so you must leave this child here and go back to Brahma Lok. That's food for thought, That's food for thought. Indirectly, Narad Muni is saying to Lord Brahma, this child does not concern you. So leave this child here and go back to your abode. Tonight, I want to tell you that anything that doesn't concern you, or concern your home, or concerns the welfare of your home, you should not take it into your home. Anything that will spoil the happiness and the peace and the prosperity and the love and the relationship at home should not be taken at home. The husband should never allow himself to become weak. The wife should never allow herself to become weak. For they're the examples that the children will follow. They're the leaders that the children will follow. And so, Narad Muni, as he uttered these words, Lord Brahma disappeared and left the child in the clutches of Narad. And all Narad is trying to put the child down. The child doesn't want to go down now. Narad Muni has to devise a plan. Something that will occupy the child. And while the child is occupied, he can run away. Have you ever tried to occupy the children? In 2022, we know to do that real good. Because you'll swear those children were born with a tablet. And when I say tablet, long time when we say tablet, it means something that you will swallow because you're sick. Now when you say tablet, actually there is a new word, tab. They no longer call it a tablet, they call it a tab. The child says, I'm looking for my tab. In my days it was called iPad and now they're sophisticated names. You see the little child no longer has a pacifier, you know. The little child has a cell phone. You look at the little child and you say, what are you looking at? I'm looking at Peppa Pig. Where are you seeing that? On the YouTube. I go YouTube. Even the small child, I go YouTube. Some adults need to learn how to go YouTube and play some bhajans in the house and listen to some mantras and allow those mantras to purify their home and their existence. In the morning, before I come off my bed, the first thing I put it on every morning religiously. Jagadambike Jai Jai Jag Janani Ma. Jagadambike Jai Jai Jag Janani Ma. O Ma, O Ma, O Ma, O Ma. And I'm saying, Ma, you take charge of my day. You be in control. Anything comes to me, Ma, you help me to decide if I need to keep hold of it or let go of it or what I need to do. You just help me. And whether how late I am or whether how early I am, well, that's very, very seldom. Whether how late I am, I make sure I listen to that bhajan, the entire bhajan, the whole bhajan, before I leave home. Every single morning. My neighbors probably learned that bhajan by now. They say to me, we know when you get up and we hear the bhajan. We know when you get up. Because you know I'm not playing it soft. I am proud. Do you know in time gone by, our grandfathers and grandmothers, when they got up 4 o'clock in the morning, they didn't care if you were sleeping, you know. They'll put on the bhajan loud, loud, loud. They'll put on the radio as though it have no more volume to put on. Do you know? And 4 o'clock in the morning, the coffee, they're boiling the coffee and it's smelling up the whole place. Long time didn't have Nescafe, you know. Long time had Hong Wing. You all know about Hong Wing? You drink a whole bottle of Nescafe and you're normal. You drink quarter cup of Hong Wing and you know what happened? You're awake whole week. And there was a coffee strainer. You know about that? Long ago they made the cocoa that you had to grate like this. Ever drink that, Ash? The cocoa that you have to grate? I liked it sometimes, but sometimes it became very oily. It had a lot of oil. Have you ever seen that before? Maybe it's that helped us to not grow this way and grow this way. I'm not sure. Tonight, Narad Muni has to do something to distract this child. And you know what he does? Narad Muni takes his most prized possession, his instrument, and he gives the instrument to the child. He says, come, let me show you how to play. And as the child begins to string, one by one he begins to burst them. And when he's about to play with the last one, and Narad knows that it will burst, Narad disappears. And as Narad makes his way away, he knows that the noise of the instrument will not disturb anybody. For now the instrument is useless. You do not know the birth of something unless you can use it. You would never appreciate something unless you learn or appreciate the worth of it. True or not? That man plays the greater. Actually, we call him the greater man. But if you give that same man the tabla and you say, well, you play that tonight, he'll watch you and he'll say, what to do, grate it? Because he has an appreciation for the greater, but he doesn't know how to use the tabla. I give Dan Paul his shank and I say, Dan Paul, you blow it. He said, no, my machine have a thing that blows a shank. Let me show you how. He said, I'm modern, Baba. You are ancient, you're still blowing a shank. I am using the machine. Narad Muni disappears. And so the child is left alone. But as the child is left alone, coming to the ocean to bathe is a divine being. Ranjan ka hote karne, kya tum kabhi ka rakshasो का झुंड देकर करने नाश हो गया करने वाले, राहु और हिरण्यकशिपु का नाम करने वाले, जिसने का जंगल को पागल किया होते, जिसमें का स्मरण सब क्या होते, सब क्या होते. Appearing there is this Rishi Bhrigu. Rishi Bhrigu, he is coming from Indralok. But Rishi Bhrigu, he tried to enter into the heavens and he was refused. You know why? Lord Indra has just experienced a great ordeal. And so Lord Indra, he is not allowing anybody to enter into the heavens. And so Bhrigu has been turned away. And so because he has been turned away, he's upset, he's angry with Lord Indra. You could please some people sometime, but you can't please everybody all the time. You all agree with that? I say this and it sounds like a joke. The Pandit knows when he gets hired, but the Pandit never knows when he gets fired. The only way the Baba will know he gets fired is when he sees a next Jandi and he says, but wait now, and let me tell you something. The seamstress has the eye to notice the stitch. The painter has the eye to notice the paint. The bus driver has the eye to notice the bus. The tablarist, the tabalchi, she has the eye to know about the skin of the tabla. She has the eye. She could just watch it and know. The harmoniumist know about the harmonium by just looking at it. The Pandit know by the Jandi. He knows. That's his profession. He must remember how much he put up the last time. And you say, but he never remember that. He ties that languti in a special way. He does everything different. Every Pandit is unique and does everything differently. And when I say differently, I mean based on his tradition and his learning and his appreciation of making worship enjoyable. So he will know. Tonight, upset, angry, he makes his way there to the Samundar, to the ocean. And making his way to the ocean, Sage Bhrigu, he meets with Jalandhar. Seeing Jalandhar, he could recognize that Jalandhar is an asura, a demon. He could tell. If you have to look here in this room tonight and pinpoint one person who is God realized, who will you point? Now don't answer anything I'm asking you. Tonight, if you could pinpoint in this room one person who is like an asura. You know what is an asura? Who will you point? Why are you all still looking at me? I have a defense for that, you know. Let me tell you the defense. I want to tell you the defense, and I don't want to tell you. I want to sing the defense for you. I'll sing the defense. ना मैं भगवान हो, ना मैं शैतान हो, हर दुनिया जो चाहे समझे मैं तो इंसान हो. ना मैं भगवान हो, ना मैं शैतान हो, हर दुनिया जो चाहे समझे मैं तो इंसान हो. ना मैं, I am not भगवान. ना मैं, I am not shaitan, the devil. Na me Bhagavan, na me Shaitan. And somewhere in between. Because I have a little bit of God and a little bit of the devil in me, and sometimes the God act up and sometimes the devil act up. And sometimes I have to remind myself that I have God in me and good in me, and I should never allow the negative forces to act up. And that is not me, that is all of us. Because while there is good, there will always be. And I thought I would talk about this because very interestingly, our president posted on Facebook today, why is it necessary to have bad and good. Why can't we only have good? It is simply because not only me, but all of us together. Na me Bhagavan ho, na me shaitan ho, are duniya jo chahe samjhe, me to insan ho. Where there is positive, there will always be. Where there is good, there will always be. Where there is a way up, there will always be a way. Always remember, where there is happiness, there will always be. Where there is health, there will be. Where there is birth, there will be. And we live in the world of opposites. We live in Mrityu Lok, the world of opposites. And everything can't be the same way all the time. Because then you know what will happen? Life will be boring. Do you know that? Existence will be boring. You need a little trouble to wake you up and shake you up. Otherwise, you know what happened? You only eat sada roti and coffee in a chair. But the trouble have you worried. You can't even eat. You're not even thinking about food. Tonight, the sage Brigu, he looks at the demon-like being and he says, you seem to be a demon. And Jalandhar says, well, maybe I am. Sage Brigu says, well, didn't you hear? And Jalandhar says, hear what? And Sage Brigu says, you didn't hear about what happened to all the other demons? And he says, which demons? Have you ever heard something happened to somebody else and you say you're interested, you want to know? A few years ago, a lot of people showed up by my gate with cricks and coffee because some Pandit Sunil died. And they came thinking it was me. And when I came outside, I said, not yet. Not me, not yet. Ever heard somebody died before? And you go to the place and maybe to the funeral, and then you see the person walk across and in your mind you say, Bhuta, Preta, Pisasha, Nikat. And then you turn to the person, who died? Is she who died? And then they say, no, it's her sister, she's a twin. And you say, oh, Jai Hanuman. He says, don't you know, have you not heard what has happened to all the other demons? And Jalandhar says, demons like who? And Brigu says, well, have you heard about Ketu and Rahu? Have you heard about Hiranyakashipu? And Jalandhar says, no, I have not heard. And Brigu says, well, I have all the time in the world. Come sit down, let me tell you. Strange. To do something good, you have no time. But to gossip and to idly talk about others, you have all the time. And the gossip going so good. They say, well, I'll call you later and we go talk again. No, but tell me now. You don't start to tell me more now. I want to hear. I'm excited to hear. Tonight, he's saying, have you heard about Rahu? And Jalandhar says, what happened to Rahu? And he says, well, there was the churning of the ocean and nectar came. And when the nectar came, Rahu took the disguise of a Devata and he went to collect some of that nectar so that he would live immortality. He will be immortal. And so, as he was about to drink of the nectar and he placed it in his mouth, an alarm was raised. And so Bhagwan Vishnu took his chakra and severed the neck of the demon, Rahu. And his head fell in one direction and the body fell in the other direction. And so Bhagwan Vishnu used his foot and kicked it up into the cosmos and created two planets separated by Saturn. And Jalandhar says, well, then tell me about Hiranyakashipu. What about him? And he says, well, Hiranyakashipu, he wanted to be great. He wanted to be God. And so Hiranyakashipu wanted his son to call him God. And so Hiranyakashipu decided that he will destroy his son because his son refused to follow his instruction. And so out of the pillar, Bhagwan Vishnu appeared. And when Lord Vishnu appeared, Lord Vishnu destroyed Hiranyakashipu. But Hiranyakashipu was smart. He asked not to die in the day, and not to die in the night, and not to die in the heaven, and not to die on the earth, and not to die in the morning, and not to die in the night. And he thought he had secured immortality. But Lord Vishnu still destroyed him. Jalandhar is hearing that Lord Vishnu took his chakra and severed the head of Rahu. Jalandhar is hearing that Lord Vishnu took the form of Narasimha, half man, half lion, and destroyed Hiranyakashipu. It wasn't in the day and it wasn't in the night. It wasn't in the morning and it wasn't in the night. It was twilight. And Jalandhar then looks at Bhrigu and he says, then tell me, who was responsible for all of this? And he just heard that Bhagwan Vishnu destroyed, and he's still asking, so who is responsible for all of this? And Sage Bhrigu started to smile. He said, you didn't know? Lord Indra. He is responsible for all of this. Indra is the troublemaker. You know why? Because Lord Sage Bhrigu is upset with Lord. So he is spreading this anger. He is recruiting others to be vexed too. Do you know there's some people, they can't keep their vex to themselves. They have to recruit other people to get vexed too. So they will have a whole army of vex. Have you ever heard that? Have you ever experienced that before? I want to tell you, you vex, that is you. In 2022, who vex? Loss. Loss is the correct adjective? That's the correct word? Is the correct context? Or should I say lose? We are Trinidadians. Who vex? Loss. You should adapt that very same quality. Because who vex? Loss. Only ignorance allows you to be vexed. You don't want to keep the company of ignorance. You know why? Show me your friend and I'll tell you. Keep the company of those, when you see them, you smile. When I walked in and I looked at Radhika, immediately she smiled. She's wearing a mask, a N95. But I know she smiled. You know how? These two cheeks touch her eye. And I saw it. Keep the company of those who will bring out the good and the God and the happiness in you. Keep the company of those who will help you to climb and to be successful and to bring out your true potential. Keep the company of those who will brighten your dark days and your dark moments just by their mere existence in your life. Tonight, hearing this, what will happen? Guru Brihaspati, he has overheard all that Bhrigu is saying to Jalandhar. And Guru Brihaspati knows now that trouble will come. Trouble will come. So Guru Brihaspati, he is now making preparations for trouble. What preparations have you made for trouble? A few days ago, we were without power for almost a whole day and a whole night. What preparations did you make for that, Sintra? There was a lamp that we did in the Bandara that had pitch oil in it. And 2 months, they have been giving me that lamp and say, carry it home, carry it home, carry it home. And in their mind, they probably said, thank God he leave it. We could light it now and get a little light. Because we never make preparations. Though we know it might happen, it could happen, there is a possibility, we still take it for granted and we make no provisions. And then when it happens, you say, well, I should have really, I could have, I didn't think about it in time. There is a bhajan that talks about time, You know the bhajan? Samayan yavat barambar, Samayan yavat barambar, O Samayan yavat barambar. It says time and time again. Time and time again we experience the very same thing, but we never learn from what we are saying. We see death, we see birth, we see pain, we see suffering, we see gain, we see loss. But what do we learn from that? We look at others and we laugh. And you know what happened? Jab Yamraj parang chali bete ho, Jab Yamraj parang chali bete. And a day you lie down on your bed. Palang chali bete. You might be lying down, you might be sitting down on your bed. And then you see Yamraj appear out of nowhere. What will you do? Then you say, I needed a little more time, and I could have do this, and I could have do that, and I should have done that. And then you say, I wasted my time because time has come to an end. The Guru Brihaspati, he says, and what he does, listen. वाकावा शक्ति का अपने रचने करने वाले, जिसमें का भगवान इंद्र की स्मरण होते, जलंधर का तुरंत इंद्रलोक का कूचने करने वाले, भगवान की भार का पैर करने वाले, उन्होंने का बृहस्पति देवता का दे रहते राका करने सभी दुष्टों का सकते का द्रोणगिरी करने वाले. He knows now. The Guru knows that at any time Jalandhar will go to Indralok. And once he goes to Indralok, Indralok is the heaven. Indra is the king of the heavens. And once he goes to the heavens, then all the devatas, they'll be in trouble. So he tells the devatas, make their way out of the heavens. The place called the Drona Giri. Drona Giri Parvat. Go to this holy place where there is a Sajivani planted, where there are the herbs that will bring forth life and prosperity and protection. Go to that place. And as the devatas, they're making preparations to go. Narad Muni appears again in the Samundar. And as Narad Muni appears at the Samundar, Sage Bhrigu looks at Narad and he says, Narad, what is happening? And he says, don't you know? He's talking to a sage. So he's thinking that the sage is a holy man. And he says, don't you know? All the devatas, they're going to the Dronagiri Parvat to hide. Because chances are that demon might create havoc in the heaven. And now, Bhrigu and Jalandhar know the plan of the devatas. Sage Bhrigu now gives an instruction to Jalandhar. And he says, Jalandhar, you're powerful, you're mighty, you're strong. You were born from Lord Shiva himself. You possess the strength of Lord Shiva. Sons should be brought up with the attitude of not being just like their father, of being better than their father. Not in an egoistic, arrogant way, but in a way, in such a way to uplift the name of the father. The father whose name is already flying like a flag, to lift that name even higher so that that name will fly even more and be greater. Bhrigu says, Jalandhar, I have an idea. Somebody ever tell you they have an idea? Let's do something. And he says, Jalandhar, before the devatas go to this Dronagiri Parvat, go and take this mountain and sink it in the ocean. So when they go there, there is nowhere for them to hide and there will be no protection. He goes and he follows the instruction, and as he sinks the mountain in the ocean, what will happen? When the devatas go in search of the mountain, they're confused. There is no mountain. Have you ever been to a place after many, many years? And when you go to that place, you say, but wait now, where these buildings come from? It used to have a hill here. Somebody excavated the hill and created a development, and you have no clue what is happening. You have no clue. In Grove Park, there is a huge mandir. Before there was a mandir being consecrated there was just open land and trees. Now when you go, you say, there is something happening. I say to the members of the group, when you go, you'll be shocked to see what you'll see. It is totally different to the last time you went. You'll be shocked to see the progress that has happened. Progress. Do you know not everybody could accept progress? Do you know not everybody likes progress? Do you know not everybody is happy because of your progress? The baby mosquito now learned to fly. The father is looking at the baby mosquito, and the baby mosquito is flying everywhere and buzzing. You know how it makes the noise? You know the song? How it goes again? Is it like that? And so the baby mosquito flies, and the baby mosquito comes back, and the baby mosquito looks at his father, and the baby mosquito is proud to declare, "Daddy, I'm flying, and I could fly on my own, and I'm happy." And the father says, "What did you see?" And he says, "Well, while I'm flying, everybody was clapping at me, and they were so happy to see me." And the father says, "Fool, you think they're clapping because they're happy to see you? They're clapping because they want to?" Not everybody who clap with you, they're clapping happily with you, you know. Not everybody who smiles with you, there is smiles and smiles, you know. Ever see it? How it is? It's out of this world. To you, that's the greatest comment. And in my mind, I say, "Oh God, Father, Narayan, Narayan." The Devatas, they're confused. They have lost the mountain that will protect them. What will happen now? The Katha tells us tomorrow night. उमापति महादेव की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, अयोध्या राम लला की जय, वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की जय, पुरे सा जगन्नाथ की जय, बोलो बे सब संतने की जय, सियापति रामचंद्र की जय, शरणम सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय. This evening, as we make preparations at the Havan, I want to remind you that at the murtis of Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati out in Palmi's Park, there is a lingam there in Palmi's Park. And so it has been placed there out in the park so that you can go anytime you choose to make your offering to Lord Shiva in this very auspicious time. Take your offering, take your parsa, take your malas, take your dhar, and you can go anytime in the day or the night to Palmi's Park, and you can make your offerings to Lord Shiva. Let us use this opportunity to pray to Lord Shiva. Go, make your offering with conviction and pray to Lord Shiva and ask him. He's ever ready to bless you with whatever your desires are. That being said, this evening I want to take this opportunity to welcome all the members of the Ganesh Utsav Foundation who are tuned in to us from the Palmi's Park. And so they are sitting there and performing the puja as well. They are looking at us via a screen. And so, this evening I want to say welcome to them. It was impossible for all members of our group to be in one place at one time. And hence the reason why there was this separation. But there are members of the group who took that with a smile. And they made no fuss. They were happy to say, well, I will go to the park. And I will sit socially distanced from the other person. I will look on at the yagya from there. To you, I want to say I'm proud of you. And blessings to you and your family. This evening also, last night, tonight and tomorrow night, we have a guest gracing the yagya. You don't know, but I'm telling you. We have a guest gracing the yagya. And you would never in a million years guess where she lives or where she came from. Never in a million years. I could bet you anything. We're not supposed to bet. But she lives in Alaska. Can you believe that? She lives in Alaska and she's here with us. In a day from now, she's going to celebrate her birthday. She did not come to the yagya by guest, but she came because she is our guest. And in a day from now, she'll be celebrating her birthday and she'll be given Guru Diksha. She has chosen Pandit Sunil to be her Guru. And so she came all the way from Alaska to have her christening done, her initiation. You'll see who she is the night of Mahashivratri, because that's coincidentally she extended her ticket to be here for Mahashivratri to do the puja. Her birthday falls on Mahashivratri. Can you believe that? An auspicious day. So you'll see who she is on the night of Mahashivratri. Because I said to her, we will do the Guru Diksha in the puja, as a part of the puja as well. It's something I'm sure she will never forget for the rest of her life. This evening, we offer water around the fire 3 times. Sarvatirta samayuktam sugandhim dirmalam jalam machprimya datta griyana parameshwara. The flower. Om bhurva swadhyani shvarbhunagni avahyami stapyami pujayamascha. Om bhurva swatat saviturvarenyam bhargo devasya dhimidyo yona prachoryat swaha idam gatre idam namama. Om bhurva swatat saviturvarenyam bhargo devasya dhimidyo yona prachoryat swaha idam gatre idam namama. Om bhurva swatat saviturvarenyam bhargo devasya dhimidyo yona prachoryat swaha idam gatre idam namama. Om Gam Ganapataye Namah Swaha. Om Prajapataye Namah Swaha. Om Indra Namah Swaha. Om Ishtadevata Namah. Om Gramadevata Namah. Om Sthanadevata Namah. Om Dastikpadevata Namah. Om Suryadinogradevata Namah. Om Sarvebhyo Devebhyo Namah. Om Sarvebhyo Brahmanebhyo Namah. Om Harimarkat Markata Namah. Om Tatpurushaya Vidme Mahadevadimi Tanno Rudra Prachoryat. 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 Trayambakam yajamahi sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukamiva bandhana prityormukshamamritat. Trayambakam yajamahi sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukamiva bandhana prityormukshamamritat. Trayambakam yajamahi sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukamiva bandhana prityormukshamamritat. Om Sarvebhyo Devebhyo Brahmanebhyo Namah Swaha. Achman. Om Sarvatirta Samayukta Sugandhim Nirmalam Jalam Achmanamya Datta Grihana Parameshwara Grihana Parameshwaram. We find the smoke in different directions. Om Vanaspatira Surabhuto Gandaryo Ganaruttamagre Sarvadevanam Dhupoyam Prati Gretam. We bow. Om Manala Namaha. Om Manala Namaha. Om Manala Namaha. Dimika dimika dim, dimika dimika dim, nache bolana.
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 Nache bolana. Nache bolana. Dimika dimika dim, dimika dimika dim,
नाचे भोलानाथ।
मृदंग बोले शिव 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 ओम।
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 डमरू बोले हर 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 ओम।
डमरू बोले हर 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 ओम।
वीणा बोले साई राम साई राम।
वीणा बोले साई राम साई राम।
नाचे भोलानाथ।
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 दिमिका दिमिका दिम दिमिका दिमिका दिम नाचे भोलानाथ।
दिमिक दिमिक दिम दिमिक दिमिक दिम नाचे भोलानाथ।
दिमिका दिमिका दिम दिमिका दिमिका दिम नाचे भोलानाथ।
दिमिक दिमिक दिम दिमिक दिमिक दिम नाचे भोलानाथ।
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 दिमिका दिमिका दिम दिमिका दिमिका दिम नाचे भोलानाथ।
दिमिक दिमिक दिम दिमिक दिमिक दिम नाचे भोलानाथ।
दिमिका दिमिका दिम दिमिका दिमिका दिम नाचे भोलानाथ।
दिमिक दिमिक दिम दिमिक दिमिक दिम नाचे भोलानाथ।
As we prepare for the Aarti, tonight, the Ganesh Utsav Foundation dedicates the Aarti to Cheryl and Munilal. They're not here with us physically, but they're looking on at us this evening. To both of you, we want to wish Bhagwan Shankar's blessings. And to both of you and to all members of your family, we want to send our love out of the Yagyashala. We pray that may Bhagwan Shankar bless you in a very special way. May all your wishes and your dreams and your desires be fulfilled. And so this evening we dedicate our Aarti to them. Let us all stand. Om yani kani japa pani jammanta kritani tani tani prakshana prakshana prade prade शिव के लाशों की बांसें डोरी दारों के राजा शंकर संकट हरेना संकट हरेना, शिव के नाशो की बासी डोरी दारू की राजा। शंकर संकट हरेना, ओ बोले बाबा शंकर संकट हरेना। कैलाशों का अंत न पाया, तेरे कैलाशों का अंत न पाया, अंत भी अंत तेरे माया। ओ बोले बाबा अंत भी अंत तेरे माया। शंकर संकट हरेना, शंकर संकट हरेना, शिव के नाशो की बासी डोरी दारू की राजा। शंकर संकट हरेना, ओ बोले बाबा शंकर संकट हरेना। बेल की पत्तियन बांग दतूरा, बेल की पत्तियन बांग दतूरा, शिव जी के मन को लुभाए। ओ बोले बाबा शिव जी के मन को लुभाए। शंकर संकट हरेना, शंकर संकट हरेना, शिव के नाशो की बासी डोरी दारू की राजा। शंकर संकट हरेना, ओ बोले बाबा शंकर संकट हरेना। नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा।
नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा।
नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा।
नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा। जय सद्गुरुदेवा।
असतो मा सद्गमया तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमया मृत्युर्मामृतं गमया। ॐ मंत्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं जनार्दन यत्पूज्यं मया देवा परिपूर्णं तनस्तमे कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृति स्वभावत् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि अच्युतं केशवं रामनारायणं कृष्णदामोदरं वासुदेवं हरे श्रीधरं माधवं गोपिका वल्लभं जानकी नायकं रामचन्द्र भजे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे त्वमेव माताश्च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सिका त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव द्यो शान्ति अन्तरिक्षं शान्ति पृथिवी शान्ति आपा शान्ति ओषधे शान्ति वनस्पतय शान्ति विश्वदेवा शान्ति ब्रह्मा शान्ति सर्वं शान्तिरेव शान्ति सामा शान्तिरिद्धि भवतु ॐ शान्ति सुख करहि मंत्र मनोहर ओम शांति ओम शांति
ओम शांति
ओम शांति
ओम शांति
उमापति महादेव की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय अयोध्या राम लला की जय वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की जय पूरे सा जगन्नाथ की जय बोलो भाई सब संतने की जय सत्य सनातन धर्म की उमापति महादेव की सीताराम 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 जाहे बेहिरा के रामा जाहे बेहिरा के रामा ताहे बेहिरा
सीताराम 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 सीताराम
ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त हितकारी हो ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त हितकारी
ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त हितकारी ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त हितकारी
भक्त हितकारी ओ 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 भक्त हितकारी
ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त हितकारी ओ ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त हितकारी
ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त हितकारी ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त हितकारी
हमने तुमने कटकम्ब में का प्रहलाद बजायो रामा का प्रहलाद बजायो हमने तुमने कटकम्ब में का प्रहलाद बजायो रामा का प्रहलाद बजायो हमने तुमने कटकम्ब में कहा प्रहलाद बजायो ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त हितकारी हो ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त हितकारी
ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त हितकारी ऐसे हमरे राम भक्त हितकारी
एक दिन ज्योति जाई संसार
एक दिन छूटी जाए संसार
एक दिन ज्योति जाई संसार
एक
एक दिन ज्योति जाए संसार,
एक दिन ज्योति जाए संसार,
एक दिन ज्योति जाए संसार,
एक दिन ज्योति जाए संसार.
You know, I'm not sure what your experience of Mahashivratri was like when you were growing up. Can you remember what it was like? That experience of Mahashivratri? I've said to our president and members of the group, I think that people who may have not or taken it for granted that they don't need to pray for the whole year, on the night of Mahashivratri, something special happens. And they're compelled or forced to go to the mandir and go to the lingam and to pray to Lord Shiva. They're forced to go. Because of some awareness that is brought about because of Mahashivratri. In our days of growing up for Mahashivratri, Sintran, they will tell you, there was puja at 6 o'clock in the evening. But after that puja would have been done, there would be singing for the rest of the evening until 12 o'clock. And only at that 12 o'clock hour, after the puja would have been done to the lingam, then you were able to charhawi your parsad. Everybody had to wait until that 12 o'clock hour. You spent the whole evening dribbling for the parsad and can't wait. Can't wait. You see the mixed fruits that we put in the parsad? I learned to put that in the parsad from Gloria. When she decorated the parsad with the mixed fruits, it made you dribble. When you looked at it, it was so appetizing because the colors were so... caught your attention. This evening in the parsad, there is an addition. Last night I put only carrots. As an addition, tonight I put pumpkin and carrots in the parsad. You can't twist your face until you taste it. Taste it first, and then you will see. Anything that you make with bhakti for Bhagwan, God blesses it in such a way that automatically the taste comes. A taste that you'll never expect it to have. Make sure and taste the parsad tonight. The Pandit made the parsad. Taste the parsad tonight. Tonight, I want to sing a bhajan that will stir some emotions. But I dedicate this bhajan to a missing link of our group who is not here with us. And actually, there are many missing links. In the past year, we have lost Popo, we have lost Gloria, we have lost members of the group. This evening, we pray a special prayer remembering them, asking that wherever they are on their journey, may their souls enjoy bliss in this time of Mahashivaratri. हमने जग की जब तस्वीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं. हमने जग की जब तस्वीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं. ये प्रभु की अद्भुत जांजीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते हैं. हमने हंसते मुकरे 4 मिले, दुनिया रे चेहरे 1000 मिले. हमने हंसते मुकरे 4 मिले, दुखिया रे चेहरे 1000 मिले. यहाँ सुख से सौंप जे पीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते. हमने जग की जब तस्वीर देखी, एक हंसता है 10 रोते. We're privileged to have Sintra Bhagan with us. 1 year ago, around this very same time, Sintra Pagan did the Gaudan. Can you believe 1 year has gone? In memory of her husband who would have celebrated his birthday during this time as well. Is it? In memory of her husband, she did the Gaudan. And in her own honor, quickly a year has passed. Seems as though it was just yesterday. दो एक सुखिया लाखों में आंसू ही करो को आंखों के दो एक सुखिया लाखों में आंसू ही करो को आंखों है हमने जिन जिन हर तकदीर देखी एक हंसता है 10 रोते हमने जग की जब तस्वीर देखी एक हंसता है 10 रोते this lingam that we offer on. This lingam, I was asking members of the group, can you imagine how much of thousands of offerings we have made to this one lingam? And how much of thousands of belva leaves and thousands of flowers and how much? Can you imagine? Do you know who bought this lingam? Where this lingam came from? This lingam was donated to us, to the group, by Dev of Dev's Bakery. By Dev of Dev's Bakery in Rosilak. And Uncle Dev said to me, he's not here now, he died. But Uncle Dev said to me, he says, Baba, every time you offer something to that lingam, remember me, remember me. Do you know every time I sit in front of that lingam, I remember him? I'm not remembering him based on what he said. I'm remembering him based on the legacy that he has left behind. He has left something that is worth remembering him. Tonight, it is an example for all of us to leave behind something that will be remembered by. But not just remembered. It will be worth remembering by. कुछ बोल प्रभु ये क्या माया तेरा कीन समझ में ना आया कुछ बोल प्रभु ये क्या माया तेरा कीन समझ में ना आया हमने देख महलवा तीर देखी एक हंसता है 10 रोते हमने जग की जब तस्वीर देखी एक हंसता है 10 रोते ये प्रभु के अद्भुत क्या तीर देखी एक हंसता है 10 रोते अगर बम मगर बम मगर बम 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 मगर बम मगर बम मगर बम 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 अगर बम मगर बम मगर बम 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 ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
ओम नमः शिवाय
शंकर 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 शंकरा
शंकर 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 शंकरा
दिमितक 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 दिमितक
दिमितक दिमितक दिमितक दिमितक
हर बम 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 भोला
हर बम बम भोला
ओम नमः शिवाय
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 शंकर दीन दयालु महावरदानी
शिव 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 शंकर दीन दयालु महावरदानी
ओ अंग विभूतले मृग चाला जटा गंगार धारी
ओ अंग विभूतले मृगशाला जटा गंगार धारी
ओ अंग विभूतले मृग चाला जटा गंगार धारी
ओ अंग विभूतले मृगशाला जटा गंगार धारी
ओ अंग विभूतले मृग चाला जटा गंगार धारी
ओ अंग विभूतले मृगशाला जटा गंगार धारी
ओ अंग विभूतले मृग चाला जटा गंगार धारी
ओ अंग विभूतले मृगशाला जटा गंगार धारी
ओ अंग विभूतले मृग चाला जटा गंगार धारी
ओ अंग विभूतले मृगशाला जटा गंगार धारी
माटे उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
माते उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
माटे उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
माते उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
माटे उनके तिलक चंद्रमा माटे उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
माते उनके तिलक चंद्रमा माते उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
माटे उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
माते उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
माटे उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
माते उनके तिलक चंद्रमा
जाके तीन नयन जग जानी महावरदानी
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 जाके तीन नयन जग जानी महावरदानी ओ आंख विभूतले मृगशाला जटा गंगार धारी
ओ बांग बेल दतूर विराजत खेल पतानी
ओ पाहन बैल त्रिशूल विराजत करुणा गिन लपतानी
ओ बांग बेल दतूर विराजत लपतानी
ओ पाहन बैल त्रिशूल विराजत करुणा गिन लपतानी
ओ बांग बेल दतूर विराजत मेल पतानी
ओ पाहन बैल त्रिशूल विराजत करुणा गिन लपतानी
ओ बांग
बैल त्रिशूल विराजत करुणा गिन लपतानी ओ पाहन बैल त्रिशूल विराजत करुणा गिन लपतानी
बोल शंकर शिव बम्बोला कैलासपति महाराज
शंकर शिव बम्बोला कैलाशपति महाराज महाराज राज।
बोल शंकर शिव बम बोला कैलाशपति महाराज आए।
शंकर शिव बम बोला कैलाशपति महाराज राज।
बोल कैलाशपति महाराज आए।
ओ कैलाशपति महाराज राज।
बोल कैलाशपति महाराज आए।
ओ कैलाशपति महाराज राज।
बोल शंकर शिव बम बोला कैलाशपति महाराज आए।
शंकर शिव बम बोला कैलाशपति महाराज राज।
बोलो बोलो अयोध्या नाथ सिया पति रामचंद्र की जय। सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। Until tomorrow evening, may the peace and blessings of Bhagwan be upon us all. Jai Jai Sitaram.
Sankhya Television is not only the first Hindu TV station in Trinidad and Tobago, but Sankhya TV also has the most coverage. You can find Sankhya Television on YouTube by searching for Sankhya Television. On the Sankhya Television's YouTube channel, you can find all previously recorded Yagnas and all Sankhya TV exclusive programming. Don't forget to click subscribe so you.
The Bharat Singh Ashram, located at number 17 Suraj Street, Devi, hosts their Mahashivratri Yajna from Saturday 26th to Monday 28th February. Bring your prasad to make offerings to Lord Shiva on Monday 28th February. Officiating is Pandit Lakshmidat Prasad Maharaj, assisted by Pandit Neil R. Maharaj. Hours of prayer are from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. nightly. For further information, contact 778-1199 or 791-4369.
Om Namah Shivaya.